Welcome everybody to Thumbfuckers and part 20.
Whoa!
Good old infamous Second Son. Again, audio issues, so we have to commentary over it. So
Going for your second son?
yeah.
There's a little bit of glitching.
There's a little bit of glitching. There
okay,
are.
It's just the Matrix coming through.
That did happen, and some of them. Whenever I watched it, that one in particular does it at the beginning.
But that was before we lowered my bit rate on the recording.
So
that could be part of it as well.
Which I don't remember doing it this much. It also could be that we're watching it from a flash drive right now. Is another thing.
There's also the data transfer crap,
because because it didn't do it this much when I watched it on my computer, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Let me get it to where I can actually see what's happening with this. Yeah, it did not do it this much. This is just this is the flash drive. This is an old flash drive too. Because I saw a little bit from the last episode too, where some frames, it didn't look 60 frames a second, which when I watched it on my computer, it was as smooth as can be the entire time. It's just our audio was like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. So, which, I mean, I could even smooth it up if it is a big problem. It would just make the file size about 2 times larger.
Yeah, some of the sacrifices we make for those we love.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, which
it was Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I love that you pointed at it. I'll circle it.
I did point it at.
Yeah. I'll circle it for everybody whenever.
There's a couple times in the Doom videos I didn't do anything for it, but like Brock would get up, Max would get up and be like, "Oh yeah, in this little area here," and I'm like, "Yeah." Okay, because they can see that.
Yeah, that's something that Brock totally does. I can see it.
Yeah,
just getting up and showing you on the TV right there. Like I'm not gonna point at it and show you. I'm gonna get up to it and I'm gonna show you the exact spot. Yeah.
You should just get him a laser light next time.
Yeah, you should. Now that speaking of pointing, because whenever I point towards things, I usually make a gesture, like I push my hand that way, that way, instead of like actually pointing with my finger. Like,
you remember you talking about that, how you don't like pointing.
It's a super huge pet peeve of mine. I hate it when people point, and I really hate it when people point at me. Like if someone points at me, it's almost like a blackout. Like I'm ready to fight someone to like the death kind of a thing, where I just lose.
Dr. Dyson.
I'm just like, exactly. It just makes me so mad. Don't know why. Probably because there's family members of mine who, in the most annoying of that they've ever been, they've been pointing at stuff or pointing at me, or I could not have played basketball because whenever you get a foul, the ref points at you, and then says your number and goes there's this stupid little foul, whatever foul you did, then pointing at me, I wouldn't have been able to take it. I can't handle it, especially a random person.
Can't handle the pressure.
Yeah, I just man, it really gets to me, and I don't know why. But yeah, it really gets me. Just like a close second, the Flat Earth Society people. those are the close seconds.
I believe that last section there, a little bit there, was you clearing the first top of that map.
I think so.
Portion of it.
Yeah, because I think it's either 21 or 22 is where I get the new power. Yeah, because we're starting that right now. This mission that I just started in this video was our starting point to getting that new power.
If I remember correctly, I had talked about that Shadow of Mordor incident that I had, where when I first started playing it, I thought the top portion was the only
part. Yeah, you did talk about that.
I did like a whole bunch of killing, got a whole bunch of levels up and power points, and was like maxed out with everything except for a few skill slots.
Right.
Later on, found out that you had to travel
all the way down there, and you're like,
that's where you learn how to ride a goddamn Caragor.
Yeah. Fantastic. That was my thought when I first played Grand Theft Auto 5, because they didn't have the full map unlocked. You had to unlock it yourself. So I started it, and you're just in the city for like a good portion of the first part of the game.
Yeah.
Like the first third of the game, you're only in the city. That's as far as you go. And I'm like, is this the entire map of GTA?
This can't be right.
And then you unlocked the other character, Trevor, who was way out in the desert.
20 times bigger than
and
this.
Then the map is and you're like, okay. It's
I heard the GTA 5 map was actually pretty freaking huge.
Driving from Trevor's place in the desert to the city is a good 4 or 5 minutes of actual in-game time, driving a car at full speed. It takes 4 or 5 minutes to drive all the way there.
Hey, look, cutscene.
Yep. Finally, yeah. We're looking for conduits, because I think this is when they're like getting kidnapped and stuff. So, we have Eugene on the phone with us. We don't see what he looks like yet or anything like that, but
he's like the deep throat of the times.
Eugene is the guy that has the other ability that we deal with later.
The last power you get.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I gotta shoot the guys off, so the bridge will be weakened, and then we get to see a cutscene of a bunch of vehicles going over there.
Yeah.
And driving over it, and then kaboom.
So I'm pretty sure it's an overpass, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an overpass.
Mm-hmm.
And the overpass is gonna go kablooey.
Kerplunk.
Yep. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
That sign that's going to that arrow pointing to the wall, I kept thinking of like a boot. Then I kept thinking of that commercial we have here around here. Boots, Jones Boots.
Yeah, yep.
Fun fact, that guy talks the exact same way. That's his actual voice. He's not acting it up or anything.
Yeah, here's where we're waiting for the overpass to do its thing.
It's Kerplunkin.
But yeah, and he's playing on his phone. He probably has a PlayStation brand phone, the Xperia.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's what I'm
thinking,
he
yeah.
has. Yeah, and he's just sitting over on the overpass, like, it's gonna blow up, but I mean, what it is that it's weakened because you weakened it because those vehicles are so heavy.
They're stupid heavy.
That they will, just crush through. Because there's also people with rock powers covered in rocks inside of there, so.
Yeah, you gotta think about all the extra weight.
Weight, and those vehicles are super heavy. Like, I guess they're even heavier than like normal APCs. This was another part where I was like, bye. That you could upgrade the thing about the first two inFamous was that you could drain electricity from anywhere because there wasn't neon signs or smoke and switching between powers and stuff like that. I mean, you just a car, you drain a little bit of electricity from it, and there you go. And it would usually get your health back up to full, but your actual energy at the bottom, it did like a little spot or two. Like it was barely energy, but your health was like, oh, I'm back to full.
I'm fully healed, but I only got like 10% mana.
Yeah. Now, the actual melee combat in the second game, inFamous 2, was fantastic because you actually had like this giant like electric rod thing that split into two that would have lightning in the middle of it, and you'd just beat the shit out of people with it. A
tuning fork.
And it was awesome, yeah. And you could send people flying with that thing. In the first one, he'd just make his arms, cover him in electricity, and I've
seen the videos of that, him, yeah.
And there was, if you got the game early enough, then you could download a special ability called Gigawatt Blades that would actually use energy to activate. You'd hit left on the D-pad, and they're like blades that would come out of his hands, made completely out of electricity.
Like Psylocke from X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. And they're just these electric blades, and they're sticking out probably 2 feet from his hands, and his hands would be straight out like this. And then you'd go hit somebody.
That actually reminds me of Wasabi from Big Hero 6.
Yeah. But the thing about the Gigawatt Blades, it took like half your energy to activate them.
Oh shit.
But it was a one-shot on almost everything except bosses.
That's almost worth it.
But there's usually like 2 to 3 phases of each boss, where it'd be like a little cutscene. It was like, okay, you got their health down to enough. Well, it wasn't even like a cutscene. It was something that would happen where they'd change their attacks up in the middle of the fight. Well, you could still like attack them and stuff, but their health would be like barely be going down. So you'd go hit the boss 3 times with the Gigawatt Blades, and then they're dead. Like,
nice.
That's how awesome they were. But some of the bosses you couldn't do that because they're like up in the air, and it's like, okay, I can't hit them because they have to be on the ground. So, but anytime there's a big boss, it's just like Gigawatt Blade, and then you just go.
I've never noticed it before, but when the rock guys, when they go to shoot off and jump, they remind me of the Earthbenders from Avatar. They just.
Yep. That's an inFamous game I would really love to see. Is an elemental based one, like with the concrete, but have them be the Earthbenders, like, and then have a firebender and a waterbender and the airbender. But there hasn't been a lot of talk about like that in the inFamous series where you like learn about other conduits. You don't really hear about that.
There wasn't much said about Element, yeah, that's right.
No,
I think you're...
The only elemental one was like electricity, which was Colmagrath. The other ones were like there was a conduit who was bulletproof, bulletproof. Like, bullets did nothing to him. That was
Man of Steel.
Yeah, basically, he was just really tough. And that was, and you hear about him at the first game, because you activate the ray sphere and all that good stuff. So, well, it goes off in your backpack because you're riding your bike, delivering packages, and it just in the middle of the city goes off on your backpack. So, and you survive it because you had the conduit gene. So, but it makes a giant crater except for where you were.
Yeah.
It's like a little pillar where the road, everything's fine right there. And that's where you wake up to start the game. And you're just like, what the fuck is this happening?
Cliche,
yeah, it was pretty weird start to the game. And then you're running out and some, like a electrical, like, transformer box just, like, zaps you. And that's where you get your electricity powers, which was also kind of dumb, where it was like, does that mean he could have, like, walked into some fire and would have had fire powers instead? Right, it's just like, because you fight, like, the game's been out so long, I'm gonna say the end of the game. You fight your future self. He's the final boss.
Oh, really?
His name's Kaiser. Sorry.
I guess it's alright if you kill your future self.
It's a different timeline. It's a guy. He's also way older than you by the time you fight him, because he didn't go back in time to when you got your powers. He goes back like 40 years before that, like before he was even born. Like, he goes way back in the past to get ready for the Beast coming, which is the bad guy of inFamous 2. So, because the Beast is the most powerful conduit to like ever exist. So, he goes back in time because his basically everybody's being killed by the Beast, and your woman, his woman gets killed, which is also your woman, gets killed by the Beast, and also your child that you had together gets killed by the Beast. So basically he loses everything, and the entire world's just like done for. Basically, there's very few people left alive.
That's when he can jump back in time.
There's other conduits still alive and stuff too, good ones and bad ones, all fighting each other and also fighting the Beast. Bad ones not so much as fighting the Beast, but the Beast is just there to basically kill everybody.
Yeah. Because
his powers are just that great. Like, he's unstoppable. He's like 50 feet tall, and he just looks like a giant black and red radiation monster. That's what he looks like, with like bright red glowing eyes. That's exactly what he looks like. So yeah, you fight your future self, but at one point in the game, future self kills your. You have a choice. The good choice is you save the bus full of people that's fallen to the ground, or you save your lady. The good choice is to save the bus full of people.
Right.
Not be selfish.
But if you want to get laid again.
But what you try to do actually is when and the good one, you try to save both of them, but you don't. You fail. Is what the good one actually is. You try to save both, but you don't. And they say
Spider-Man saved all the good ones. And,
he did. He saved everybody. Yeah, he's Spider-Man though.
He's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's kind of hard with electrical powers to just be like,
zap.
Everybody's dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's that conundrum.
But the evil one is you save her, and she gets pissed at you for it. Like, she's like, you should have let me die. And then you break up and all that stuff. So, make you more evil, all that good stuff. So, but no, he kills your lady because he's basically, his thoughts, Mr. Kleiser, future years, like, he's like, you don't need any distractions. You need to be ready for the Beast, is basically what he's saying. He's like, well, he's acting like he's an evil bad guy. When really, at the end, once you beat him, you touch his head, because Cole McGrath can do that, and when he touches people's head, he can read their mind, and he reads all that time stuff and realizes who the fuck he is. He's like, oh, that's me, holy shit, that's me from the future. Different timeline though, because of everything that happens the way it happens. So because he went way back in the future. He creates the ray sphere, so you get your powers. Well, he helps the ray sphere get activated faster, because he didn't have his powers that long whenever the Beast came, so he helps it get made faster, and is the one who gives you the package. His company gives you the package, and he has it set to go off in the middle of the city on you, so to get your powers.
So you give your powers to yourself.
Which his powers are also kind of electric based, but he's more just like really fast, and it all looks like blue misty stuff instead of electricity. It's really weird, but yeah, he'll make like copies of himself. He's just really fast more than anything.
Copy of a copy. It is the Matrix.
He's like lightning fast is what he is. So instead of just like the raw power of lightning, he's more of like the speed of lightning kind of a thing, kind of a fight. And there's like an old man that you have to fight who has like the ability to, get this, control trash.
Control trash.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So he makes himself a giant trash monster covered in like
Muckman from
yeah,
Turtles
basically.
and shit.
So there's like scrap metal and literal trash bags and tires flying at you and stuff, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? That was the weirdest part of the first game.
One man's trash is another man's weapon.
And then another one was a girl who made like she had like poison powers and she was poisoning the water and stuff like that. It's crazy stuff. She's the first boss. She's really easy, and she like. And man, she adores your character. She's like, it's like a really unhealthy, like, in like sickness of like wanting to be with you kind of a thing.
Oh, really?
Because it's actually a former ex, this lady, and she'll talk to you in your mind and stuff with her powers. And my mom came in when I first got the game, and she's like, I don't like that lady. She's like, she's creepy. At any time I'd talk about inFamous, she's like, is that the game where
the creepy lady's
on the lady I don't like? I'm like, yep. Yeah. But yeah, no, you fight your future self, and then beginning of inFamous 2 is, oh shit, the beast is here. That's the first level of the game. Like, oh fuck, you're fighting the beast.
Boom, right off the bat.
But he whips the fuck out of you, and throws you into the ocean, which is bad for Cole McGrath because he electrocutes himself.
Yeah.
So you have to go from Empire City, which is basically New York City, down to a city in Louisiana. It's basically New Orleans because half of it's flooded from like a hurricane that went through there not too long ago. So that's fun because like, oh shit ton of water, gotta watch out. So but
it's always something.
The bosses of that one, the conduits, is like, oh, there's a lady with ice powers, and there's a lady with fire powers. So there is some with the elements of like ice and fire, but they're not very powerful conduits. They are pretty minor conduits, but they're not like the conduits in this, like those DUP guys on this, who are just like, they're pretty weak compared to those two still, but they are able to mix your powers with them in that game.
Yeah.
So if you're good, you get like ice powers mixed in. If you're evil, you get the fire powers mixed in with your electricity. So that's pretty cool. So because you find something that lets you do that, where you're just like,
remember these angel bitches.
Yep, they're here to fight DUP and also take other conduits. Which inFamous. The second son is based off of the good ending of inFamous 2, and the first inFamous is based off of the good ending. I mean, the second inFamous is based off of the good ending of the first one. So
right,
because the evil ending of inFamous 2 is Cole McGrath actually becomes the Beast at the end.
Right.
You beat him, and the Beast is like, well, you don't actually beat him, but you fight him enough that he's like, you know what, I don't want to be the Beast anymore. He's like, do you want to be the Beast? And Cole McGrath's like, fuck yeah, dude. And he's like, all right, here's all my powers, which will kill me when I give them all to you. He's like, because he was tired of it. He's just like, all I'm doing is going around destroying stuff. He's just like, it's not fun anymore. Basically how it goes.
It's kind of like the end boss.
And then the good one is like, oh, I'm going to use the third ray sphere ever made to kill every conduit on the planet, which kills anyone who had a dormant gene or an active gene. And then there's one that was beyond dormant, that was in people. It was basically a sub-gene that could turn into the conduit gene, and the ray sphere turned that gene into the conduit gene, is what it did instead of killing them. So there's people who didn't even have powers yet, just all around the world, who were just randomly dying.
The dominant
they
gene,
just had the conduit gene not active yet; it was dormant, and so they died. Which of course it kills the Beast and Cole McGrath and everything too. So, which honestly, in comparison, like, I mean, you fight the Beast at the end of inFamous 2, and you are fucking him up. Like, you're doing a pretty damn good job. But because he's radiation, he won't actually die. Like, you'd fight him until the end of your life, basically. Like, he'd come back, and you're like, oh shit, gotta find him again. Yeah. And even though Cole could win every time, it would just get real old real quick. Like,
get tiring after a moment.
More than anything. He's just like, and his radiation's still gonna spread throughout the entire planet. Because it spreads, and it's going to kill other people, and it's going to activate other conduits, and he's like, it's just going to...
never-ending cycle.
It's just going to, it's just, too many people are going to die if he stays alive, was the big thing of the good ending. It's just like, gotta kill him. It's like, it's going to kill me too, but it's the only thing we can do. So...
like a hero.
Yep, so, yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. Which, But yeah, it was really Cole McGrath was so powerful. As like compared to Dyson Roll, he has a cool ability and copy other people's powers. But there's a fan theory that if Cole McGrath was still alive and Cole McGrath tried to take his powers, because in reality Cole McGrath is actually supposed to be like the most rare conduit, since he actually has electrical powers, because other people who had elemental based powers were nowhere near as powerful as him. Like, they had their powers. They didn't have to drain powers to get energy back, but their powers were still pretty weak.
Mission complete.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time on Thumbfuckers with more inFamous Second Son.
Have a good time.